Now we are.
Oh, hello.
Oh, we got to make an
We just,
entrance
we just,
somehow.
we just timed this. Okay. Out.
Out.
Ready? Okay.
What?
Oh, you're
Who's ready?
frozen. You're frozen.
Go.
Okay, go. that was almost fine. You and I, as much as I appreciate your friendship, you and I are probably not good skating partners.
Oh gosh. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the JVology Partner Spotlight. I'm your host, Krista Inakovsky, and today I get to spotlight my good friend, Mr. James Lam. How are things today, James?
Oh, they're good. I don't know. I'm just about. I'm in the middle of launch, and my first workshop is tomorrow, and so things are hectic, but things are good. This is like the second time we've launched properly. Okay, so the second time we launched properly, and this time I am having trouble believing that it's this easy. And what I mean easy, like, and that's compared to last time. Last time we were like, oh my God, we're like working to the day. Like it's one of those things where you're like, we need to send out an email today. Is it written? Nope, it's not written. Oh fuck, I better write it, right? Like it's like 5 minutes to do it. And this time it's all done, which is awesome. And it allows me to be more mindful, intentional for stuff like this, which I appreciate. And I would appreciate spending time with you anyways, Krista.
Oh, well, thank you. And you know, what you just said really taps into the work that I do of just believing that it's easy.
Yes.
When you believe it's easy and tap into the fun, which you're so good at that, you're so good at tapping into that, how much fun can this be to create something new and to reach new people, then that's the energy that ends up being cultivated. And you have that, and it really draws people. Now, James, not everybody who's seeing this knows who you are already. So I'd like to give you a minute to kind of, frame out what you do and why they should tune in and keep listening, besides the fact that we like to do weird things on Zoom.
It's true. Okay. Well, well, one of the big things is right now I have a brand new guide, and it's right here, and I'm going to showcase this to you, and you can't read it, which is too bad. And that's kind of the point. So this is one of the things I learned, and I'm really proud of this for a couple of reasons. One of them, it looks awesome. But the big reason is because this is like the journey that I took. And unlike a lot of guides, which are just a rehash of old information, this is new information. And the basic premise is that you have to be your authentic self to get your best customers. Because, most of the people who are watching this are going to be spiritual guides, life coaches, business coaches. And the premise of that is that it's not just your strategy work. Your personality is a key component in bringing out people's fears, people's dreams, right? All the failures, all the insecurities. And that's where a lot of the magic happens. So in order for you to do that, you have to get along with the person. And that's the reason why being authentic and demonstrating your personality first is really, really key. So that's the premise of this. This is 5 stages. The last stage, let me see if I get this right. The last stage, which is called Champion, essentially you are doing it. People love it. It's going viral. People are sharing it all over the place. Whatever you put out, people are absorbing. But we have to start somewhere. Most of us start here, what's called curator. And a curator, what happens is that essentially you are a little bit shy about putting out your stuff. You don't feel you have a voice. You don't feel, it's imposter syndrome, right? You feel like you don't have any right to say all those powerful things that you really should say. And so you end up copying news articles or rehashing somebody else's saying because you're like, I'm associated with space, but I'm not really comfortable in saying my own stuff yet. Does that make sense? So we all have to up level. Now, you're never going to go from curator to champion, but you take those steps on the way, and I help you out a little bit by adding these action points down below on how to up level, and that will take time eventually, and you're going to get there. That's basically it.
Okay. Wow, I mean, you just said a bunch.
There's a whole bunch of stuff there. So buy it. I mean, download it. It's free, right? It's free too, and you look, see where you are.
So let's back up a step or two. We're talking about, this is marketing. This is visibility. This is standing out. And what I love about all the work that you do, James, is you really invite people to step into what makes them unique. And I've taken your course, I'm in your class. And so, I've experienced it as well. It's not about putting this facade on what looks perfect and what should be done. I think those days are over. I think people that rely on that are going to get left behind, because we're in this space of being, where it should be authentic. If you're vulnerable enough to go there.
Yes, and a lot of it is there's two things there, and you're absolutely right. One of them is that in the olden days, like last year, we we felt that we had to make marketing really professional, and so we would spend all this time and effort on marketing stuff. Oh, hey Victoria, we would spend all this time on marketing stuff that honestly stripped out any personality that you have. But I'm going to reinforce this, right? I'm going to say people want to buy your stuff if you are yourself, because you're just going to naturally attract certain people, and that's awesome, right? The other thing is that we tend to focus on where we are weak. And because we focus on where we are weak, we don't tend to stand up in our full power, because we're spending all our time and effort into things that don't serve, into marketing channels we started on a whim, like when we first started. And now we're like, oh my gosh, Instagram is not going well. I haven't posted in a week. I better do that. Instead of standing up and really feeding your audience, right? Those are the two big things that I teach in what I do.
Yeah. So as you tap into what makes you unique, then those characteristics, I know that's what attracts people in, because people want to see that you're real and you've been able to overcome things. And then they connect and understand that you've been there and then see that the growth. And I think that's a lot more attractive than trying to make marketing or your message or any of those things just seem like everybody else.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? So, and you will understand this too, Kristen. You can talk from experience from watching some of the progression of people in the group, right? The tool that I teach is marketing, but the real product is validation of self. It's validation that I matter. It's validation that there's a whole bunch of people who want to work with me. I just need to get out there and find them and be my true, authentic self. So that's basically it, Victoria. Your question is, but how do we reach people that align with who we are? And you got to put yourself forward, right? When you use marketing talk, look, there are certain times you need to do marketing talk. Like when you're creating a product description, you need to use the marketing talk, right? When you're talking about customer journey, you need to use the marketing talk. But when you are just you and you are perfectly imperfect for the people you want to work with. Right. So a lot of the time it's about owning that. It's about showing up properly and fully. And it's about finding validation in who you are. And that normally leads to many, many of the breakthroughs. Now, it sounds like I'm teaching like this woo-woo course. I'm not. And it's really the strength of the people that are awesome in there. But anyways, this is your first step, right? It's kind of doing this. This is free. Yes, I'm going to spam your email afterwards. I'm just joking. I'm not going to spam your email afterwards. But look, download this, and if this is all you do, like that's awesome. It is a way to step up and be powerful, right? Just so you know, when you do download it, there is going to also be an invitation to a workshop that I'm putting on. I only do the workshop 3 times a year. They are free. It's an hour-long workshop. They're awesome. You're going to leave with
valuable.
You're going to leave with 3 huge nuggets of information, right? One of them is you're going to create the best ever about you line for your bio. Number 2 is I'm going to show you how to level up in community and get what you want and need out of community. And number 3 is we're going to work one-on-one, and we're going to figure out what marketing you actually should be using, as opposed to trying a scattershot of everything and failing at each, or not doing well at each, I should say.
Yeah, that works out so well, because as you encourage everybody to lean into more of their superpower, like you help us draw out what are we really good at, and even using the other members of the group to reflect that back, since we don't always see our strengths within ourselves, but other people do. And then that leads us to, all right, well, where are we having conversations? Where are people naturally attracted to us? And so this process that you take everyone through in your group just lets that unfold naturally. So you're not like, well, should I be here? Should I be there? It's not like this big intellectual decision. It's like, oh, well, if I just follow the steps that James lays out for me, I end up on the right path where people are happy to hear from me because I'm being me.
It's really interesting you say that, because a lot of the time when people are struggling, marketing is not their problem. And the problem is they have the wrong product for who they are. I'll give you a perfect example, right? You and I both know, shout out to Stephanie Wiederstrand. She's awesome. She is like the hardest working person ever, I think, pretty much. And when she first came into working with me, her old mentor told her to work directly with children with autism. because she raised children with autism, so that's where her old mentor, and she never felt comfortable. She always felt like a what, round peg in a square hole. I don't know what the terminology, but you know what I mean. It didn't fit, and then we actually changed that to working with parents of children with autism, and that clicked. And you saw it as well as I do, Krista. Like the minute we said that, it's like the confidence went up. Her summit, which actually was falling apart when we first started working together, we didn't just like we blew it out of the water because she found who she wanted to work with, and they were bringing in people who were amazing and who were in alignment with her. Like sometimes when we find what we're supposed to do, it just all comes really naturally.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And that's part of my own story and journey, is being influenced by others and doing things that I could do or were recommended to do, and following those things instead of my own. And the more I've tapped into and really accepted nothing else than what I'm called to do, has opened up the door. And you are so great at helping the people in your group and the people that come to your workshops lean into that and see what that looks like and feels like, and recognize, am I aligned? Am I, what if I was more of who I am in front of people? What would that look like? Would that actually bring more of the right people in? Yeah. We don't need more people. We need more of the right people. Yes. And the more you are you, and let that freak flag fly, then it all seems to work.
I just love the fact that in that group, and this is we're launching second time around, and I think most of you know that. That's part of the reason why I'm giving the freebie, because I would like you to join the workshop, and at the workshop there will be an invitation to some of you to join my program if I think it's right, and that's the truth. But what I love about it is people discover how much value they have in just being themselves. So last night we had our wrap up for the first cohort, and it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, right? We're all supporting each other.
Beautiful.
And I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Bengal, who is who's an accountant, right? Like you're like, when four accountants are the butt of all like boring party jokes, right? It usually starts with like, there was an accountant and an MC at the bar, right? And you're like, oh, here we go. And so, but Jonathan felt comfortable in the group where he was able to channel his intuition side, which was awesome. And that is not easy. You need to be in a safe place, and you need to be confident with who you are, and that's what we foster in that program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great. Well, everybody who's watching the replay, throw in some questions for James, and definitely we're going to drop in the link or in the comments below how you can sign up to get your 5 superpower steps, that James has put together. And of course, get registered for the workshop, because James' workshops are really fantastic. It's not just, it's learning and doing. So it's very interactive. Have paper ready, or you're ready to write on your computer and engage, because you will end up at the end of the workshop with content for yourself, clear about who you are, and excited to move forward.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to see you there. So again, the steps are, you would go to the code that's in the chat or above, and you would download this. So this is free anyways, okay? The next workshop that you are invited to, it's free as well. Like I'd love you to attend. One thing I want to make really apparent as well is, how do I say this? I'm just going to call it right out. Like our show rates for workshops, and this is not out of the blue, 1 out of 5 people show up. So five people register for the workshop, only 1 shows up. But you can bet it's that person that takes their future seriously. You can bet it is that person that wants to up-level themselves, or they're not sure how, right? The number of people who I have had conversations where this program or even the freebie can be a life changer. And I'm not joking. Like there's a bunch of them, and they just refuse to do it. And and they're saying no to their own success. So my challenge to you, team, is yes, it is scary to up-level, but at the same time, you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to your business to be the best superhero entrepreneur that your business needs that you can be. And that's the truth. And it all starts, and look, this is not, there's no commitment. I am just saying, let's open the door to something that might work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Krista?
Absolutely. It completely makes sense. And knowing the people that are in the group, these are not people that are just like, oh, what's marketing? This is not like, they've been in business and are really, really strong at what they do. And we all recognize that marketing never ends.
Yes.
That getting clear on your message never ends. That as you're creating new programs, new products, new offerings, that the marketing behind that never ends. And to tap more fully into who you are and how to express yourself so that people will be attracted to come in is an ongoing process. And James is so great at helping us get through that. Like, don't get complacent on it. Be like, oh, I know how to do this. I've been doing it for years. Like, no, stay on top of your game.
Yes.
Pull it out, something new.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I appreciate that, Kristen. And again, the very first step is taking that little micro step. And honestly, like it sounds ridiculous. I know they so like the journey of 1,000 miles always starts with the first step, which is true. We tend to underestimate that though, right? We tend to be like, I just want to be there. And so few people actually take that first step. So first step again, follow that link. If you're watching on whether you're watching on Krista's or Jay's, like follow the link that is there. Yep, it's an affiliate code, but I appreciate these guys helping me out. And it's free for you to get this guide. It's an amazing place to start. I highly recommend it. And look, team, I appreciate you watching.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here, for all that you do, for how you show up in JVology, and as a friend, and how you lead this group. And you're a fantastic trainer. Like you're teaching how you break things down. There's so much more in James' program than we're even touching the surface on here today. But definitely come take advantage of that opt-in and join the free workshop. You get nothing to lose.
All right. I'm just going to leave this here. See you there, team. I'll just leave this up here. No, I won't.
All right. You have a great day. Thank you, everybody out there, for watching. Say hi, send a message, send a like, and we'll get back with you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.